Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, after 18 years without a losing record, will have one. First of all, I think Baltimore, now they've upgraded their secondary, may have the second best roster to Philadelphia in the sport. I think Joe Burrow may be the best quarterback on any Sunday in the sport. Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback, well, he was 5-12 last year. He didn't do well with the defensive culture in New York. There's less dysfunction in Pittsburgh, but not necessarily on the offensive side. They lost their leading rusher, their left tackle, their leading receiver. I like DK Metcalf, but he can be booty too. I just think the reality is they spend too much money on defense, not enough on offense. The TJ Watt contract extension will be hovering over their head. I don't think they're going to be a 6-win team, but I think 8 is probably the number. Mike Tomlin finally losing record.
Okay. First off, comparing yourself to the New York Jets, I mean, the defensive culture of the Jets didn't work, and it's like, guys, I mean, listen, I grew up going to Jets games because my uncle, for some reason, randomly had season tickets. I'm not from New York or anything like that, but, what are we saying here? Like, the Jets have been so disastrously run. Comparing to, using that as a reference point is just comically absurd, especially when you look at a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who is a very well-run team. I've been critical of them. I think they need to be more aggressive, make other moves, etc., but it's like their floor is still a very well-run team. That's obvious. You can't just accidentally have the levels of success and consistency that the Steelers have had. Year after year after year after year. Now, again, I'm the type of person where I rather leverage and mortgage some of that level of consistency to try to get even higher over that hump. And I think that's fair criticism, but you are bringing Aaron now into an environment that is incredibly organized, incredibly grounded. There's not these fires that constantly need to be put out, and when the fires do come out, which happens to every single NFL team every single year, not a single team doesn't go through adversity. It's just impossible. Mike Tomlin has consistently shown to be able to navigate that. And if this is Aaron Rodgers is actually like his final season, like he's gonna go for it. He's gonna go for it. And I just like, it's funny to hear Colin talk about him with his time in New York when, like, before he was like, like, Aaron's got a lot of juice, he was actually a really good quarterback in the final 8 games of the season and this and that. And, and it's just like, so I think there is success to be had with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, ask yourself, who is a better quarterback, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, or Aaron Rodgers? The answer is obviously Aaron Rodgers. And there's going to be now even further time away from his Achilles injury. There is this feeling for him of like, hey, this is it. This is the last hurrah. Let's get after it. And I think there's success to be had. I'm not willing right now to put a cap on that, or like to make a firm prediction in terms of like what that actually fully means in terms of like how far they can go. But you're talking about the Ravens and the Bengals, and I get it, but it's like, okay, what about the Browns, and what about all the other teams that you're going to play throughout the season? Like, yeah, the Ravens are going to be hard. They always are. Yeah, the Bengals will be hard. Yeah, they always are. That's Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. Like, of course. This defense should be still just as well coached, just as well prepared, just as potent as it's been in years past. The offense, quite frankly, this should be the best run it's been. I have full confidence in Aaron to be able to run an offense and actually execute what needs to be done. I think that's obviously where Justin Fields, without a shadow of a doubt, was lacking, and you could see where Russell Wilson was able to take up from those reins. But still, Russell Wilson is still, I think Russell Wilson was still trying to prove himself in that regard, and I still think it kind of hurt him in the long run. So I'm curious to see how Aaron kind of, quote, falls in line with the Steelers. But if you think Aaron wants that on his resume too of Mike Tomlin's first losing season, like there's no way. So I think there's going to be a lot of mutual respect there where it's like, hey, I'm going to help you go out on top, and you're going to help me not have a losing season. You're going to help me not get fired, essentially, right? Like, let's do this. So I think there's just a tremendous amount of mutual respect there. And there was not the mutual respect with Robert Saleh and the New York Jets. That is very obvious, quite frankly. So, I get the skepticism around the Steelers, and I'm optimistically skeptic, I'd say, about the Steelers, if that's possible. But it's just, yeah, Steelers have a losing record. A lot of people have been making that bet. A lot of people, year after year after year after year. Let's look at their schedule. All right. They got three, maybe four, maybe five awesome games in the beginning of the season. You're going up against the Jets with Justin Fields. I'm sorry. I believe in the Steelers, okay? And then it's game 2 with Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. Like, it's going to maybe take him a minute or two to get resituated with his new team. And then it's game 3 with Drake May and the Patriots. Like, could also take him a second to get situated. And then it's the 4th game for first year starter JJ McCarthy. And then the Cleveland Browns. Who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be Shador? Is it gonna be Dylan Gabriel? I mean, like, Kenny Pickett? I mean, like, which quarterback? You choose. Dealer's choice. So, like, even some of these teams that could be sneaky good, like a Sam Darnold-led Seahawks, like a Vikings team, like a Patriots, like even those teams where you're kind of like, I don't know, like they should be able to be better than they were last year, et cetera, et cetera. You're like, well, I'm playing them very early on in the season. It's like, I think Drake May and Vrabel will have a lot of success together. Will they have this all figured out by week 3? I don't know. I mean, technically, if you were forced to choose right now, you would say no. We know that. I mean, even established teams take weeks to kind of like get into rhythm. So if you're going to play any of these in-between teams, it's like, all right, you should maybe be able to lean on them. Now, there's going to be a difference because you're like, well, isn't Aaron Rodgers? Like, hey, it's his first year. But he's a seasoned veteran. A true seasoned veteran. There's differences here. With a true established long-term head coach, there's just different levels to that. And then, and again, I'm not going to say that those games still won't be hard or that they still can't lose those games. I'm not saying that they're winning all these games. But it's just, just different, man. I expect J.J. McCarthy to be significantly better in week 14 than he is in week 4. I think that's fair. We consistently see that. So then you're gonna have the Bengals. Yeah, should be a tough game. Packers. It's gonna be a fascinating game, right? Like, what version of Aaron Rodgers are we going to get there? I mean, it's gonna be fascinating. Colts. Daniel Jones again should be better, but like, how much better? Are they now going to be the team to beat? Highly unlikely. So there you go. Chargers will be a great team. Bengals again. Steelers, Bears. It's going to be an interesting game. Caleb Williams. See, and that's my point, right? At this point, if you believe that Caleb and Ben Johnson are going to click, you're like, all right, by November, late November, going into December, I'm expecting that team to then be firing. If you believe in them, right? If you believe that they're actually going to be pretty legit now. The Bills, always legit. Ravens, of course. And then the Dolphins. I don't know, man. I actually think Tua is a pretty good quarterback. It's just so unfortunate because of his constant injuries hanging over his head. I'm not so sure that that's a very well-coached team. It's like they show signs of actually being pretty good, but it just doesn't see. I just don't think they have it. I don't think they have the culture. I don't think they have the organization. So it's just like, even if the Dolphins are a pretty good team, they're going to be on the road in Pittsburgh. Should be quite cold in December. We know how that works out for Miami. And then again, tough game against the Lions, easy game against the Browns. And then that final game against the Ravens could already have the number 1 seed locked up. They might not play. And now that Zay got injured in that final game, they're going to tread carefully so you don't even know. So, I mean, the wins are there. It's just, honestly, this is a very standard schedule. You look at this schedule and you're not like, oh my God, this is the easiest schedule. You're like, oh my God, this is the hardest schedule. It's a standard schedule. It really is. You have a couple tough, obviously, divisional opponents. You got a couple random tough out-of-division opponents. And then you got a handful of, easy games. You know, are there any of these guaranteed layups? No, except for the Cleveland Browns, who quite frankly probably want to lose. But yeah. And then even a team that could sneaky be kind of good, like a Dolphins team, you're playing them in most likely the bitter cold. December 15th, 8:15. So is that a Sunday night game or something, or Monday night game, whatever it is? So it's even at night too. So then it's definitely going to be cold. So yeah. I'm more high on the Steelers than I thought I was going to be right now. I'm buying, honestly, right now. It seems like they're low right now. I'm buying low. So, I believe Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin are going to connect. I think they're both football junkies. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to really appreciate if this really is his final hurrah, and I think people are gonna rally behind that, and they're gonna get after it. I really do. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Pittsburgh Steelers having their first losing record, their first losing season under Mike Tomlin? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're all on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.